Hi, so in this video I'm going to take a Intermec CN3 that's just been clean booted and set it up for InspectCE. So the first thing I've done is I've docked it and made sure that dock is powered and connected to the computer via USB. And when that happens, I'm running Windows 7 and this pops up and it says connected. If you're running Vista, this will look the same. If you're running Windows XP, this will be Windows or ActiveSync, but you need a connection. Now I'm doing a looking at a unit that's been clean booted, as I said. So if I browse to that unit on the in Windows, there it is, CN3. It's not going to have any sort of applications other than what comes with the default. If you're doing a reinstall of InspectCE, you should go in here into the internal drive and delete the InspectCE folder and the InspectCE data folder. If you don't do that, then there might be a path mismatch in the new install. Okay, so once that's connected, we can open up the installer.exe program. This is build 256 version 4. There it is, version 4.0. And first we want to connect to the Pocket PC. It says connection established. And then I'm going to hit reinstall, install firmware to handheld. And it's going to ask me to set program directory. Be careful to read these carefully, because one says program directory and it comes up twice, and one says program path, so they're different. I don't know anybody who doesn't put their program on the device, so just leave that as default. Okay. Okay, and then, like I said, program path comes up again. It's sort of a hiccup. I don't know why it asks you twice, but it does. So, okay. And then your device unique ID comes up. So this is something that you need to have a record of if you're a MAINTelligence customer, because we sell InspectCE. So if you're a new customer, just copy this and send it to us. And we'll get back to you with a serial number that will activate the software. It says entered serial number valid. Kind of looks like an error message, but it's not. Update serial number, yes. Now here it says data path. So if you're using this in a regular server client environment, in other words, you're not using it on Citrix, you're not using SD cards, this is what you're going to want to put. If you're using SD cards, you're going to want to choose other directory and then go down to your SD card. There it is right there. I have an SD card in there. It needs to be 8 gigabytes or smaller. It's old school setup. So I'm going to do my device or default, which is in /InspectCE data. Yes. And it says installation complete. So let's just put this down to the side for now, because we're going to come back to this. This installer program actually has sort of 3 functionalities. One is to install or reinstall the software. The other is to set up the user IDs. And the third is to set the registry settings. So let's just, while we're in here, let's take a look at registry settings. It shows you the data path, the data access method, scanner or selection. In this setup's no user logons required, no passwords required, very low security. Instruction note always pops up. What kind of route view is the default? What information from the route shows up on the handheld? Whether user-defined reading types are automatically completed if you scroll down. The serial port, which is useful for temperature guns. Most of our clients use a serial port for temperature guns, so that has to match the temperature gun or the COM port associated with a temperature gun, if you're using that, what kind of temperature device it is. You can change any of these settings by clicking on them and then going down here. So if you want to use a Raytec MX4 with Bluetooth, choose that. If you want to use a TPI Bluetooth gun, they're a little more economical, just choose that and then click Save Setting. Vibration device, a lot of our customers use Liberators. If you're using a Liberator, put in your Liberator Bluetooth address here. And some more stuff too. I'm not going to go through it all. So save the settings. I changed one setting and click Exit, and it'll say Update Settings and say yes. It says it's successful. And then the third most commonly used application is User ID. So here is the default User ID, and you can just modify these so that your name is in there. And you can put a password if you want as well. Okay, update, yes. So let's exit the program, and I installed another program called MyMobiler, which allows me to bring up the device on my computer screen. So here it is, and if we go to Start Programs, there it is, InspectCE. And we can open it there. And oh, I didn't choose the login option, so there's nothing there. And I have no routes, of course, so I can't go in there. Now, one thing we might want to do is, if you're using barcodes, we're going to want to configure the barcodes to be scannable by InspectCE. In order to test that, you're going to go into, let's go into Settings. So in order to make the barcodes work, we need to go into Settings, System, and then Intermec Settings. Now, if you're running Windows Mobile 6.5, this is going to look different, but it's a similar process. You're going to want to go into Data Collection, and then Internal Scanner, I lie, Symbology Options, and you're going to want to set your preamble and your postamble to $. This is just what's required in order to make InspectCE properly read barcodes. So you do that, and then you can test if you've changed the preamble and postamble to $. Make sure you hit Save, and that's going to make them go from blue to black. I forgot to do that, that's why they're already there. So now that you've done that, you can go to Notes and say New Note. Press Enter on the handheld to get the flashing cursor. And now when you scan it, so the barcode I'm scanning is 0088, but when I scan it here, it's going to have the $ in front and behind. So if 0088 was a barcode attached to either a point or an equipment that was in a route, scanning that barcode would bring that point up, or the first point within that equipment in InspectCE. So that's pretty much everything that needs to be set up for getting InspectCE to run. I guess the only other thing that I'll show you is how to connect to the handheld and upload a route. So to access the handheld, you want to click here, although make sure that you have a connection first of all, so I do. And then your settings. I was installing build 256 version 4. Make sure that's version 4. If you're using an SD card, this has to be pointing to the SD card. If you're using a regular default installation, don't worry about it, just use that. And and then you're going to connect. And here are your routes, which you can pass to the handheld, and there's a link to a video about this functionality here.